Ever come home from work, sitting on the couch and just break down? Maybe you feel like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. You're constantly chasing approval, whether it's from your boss, your coworkers, or even your 10 and 12-year-old children. And it feels like you're stuck in a cycle of exhaustion and self doubt. Well, if this is familiar, you're not alone. Give me the next 5 minutes and I'll show you here in day one of our 3-day project how to break free from this approval trap with actionable steps you can start today. And if you're ready to take control of your mindset and your life, drop a blueprint in the comments down below and I'll send you over the Cliff Diver's Edge Overcome the 3 Core Irrational Beliefs blueprints to you right away. So let's plunge right on in. My name is Edison with Cliff Diver's Edge. I guide entrepreneurs, business leaders, CEOs, and individuals over 40 to rediscover their worth and maximize their lives. In every episode, I provide actionable insights to propel you towards your income and your life's goals. So day one, we're going to be covering and uncovering why do we suffer and feel stuck, overwhelmed, or held back in life. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, staring down the unknown or paralyzed by fear. At the Cliff Diver's Edge, I call this your sticky feet. It's that feeling of being unable to move forward because we've weighed down by irrational beliefs. Beliefs like approval. I must be approved by others to be worthy. Now, this belief keeps you chasing validation from others instead of trusting your own worth. It's exhausting and leaves you feeling like you're never enough. So I put this into a little thing called Imagine This. Imagine that you're standing on a perch with over 30 dives that I can dive from, right? I could do a forward flip, I could do a back flip, I could do a gainer, I could do 30 different dives. But instead of trusting your internal gut or your instincts or my instincts, I turned to the crowd and asked them which dive they think that I should do so I could meet their approval. Sounds absurd, right? But that's exactly how so many of our lives are impacted by this constantly looking for external approvals to validate our choices. If you ever come home from work feeling drained because you didn't get the recognition or the validation you were hoping for, this is what's happening. You're stuck in that approval trap. So today on day one, we're focusing on awareness, spotting the faulty springboard. Every leap starts with awareness, recognizing what's holding you back. On day one, we focus on identifying how these beliefs show up in our lives. And we have some pretty funny and cool ways we do this here on this video. So think of this as scouting the terrain before your cliff dive. So here's how we start. We identify your belief and ask yourself, do I seek approval before making decisions? Do I feel unworthy without external validation? And write down specific examples where this belief has shown up today, yesterday, this week, or recently. Spotting the patterns, right? We want to spot the patterns. Reflect on situations where you feel stuck or overwhelmed, like coming home from work, crying because someone didn't acknowledge your efforts, staying late, or gearing up your team for tomorrow's projects. This is where the approval trap is holding you back. The next cool and funny thing we do at the Cliff Diver's Edge is we name your springboard. And this should be fun. This should be entertaining. This should get your belly laugh, your laughter going, right? Give your belief a name. Now, it could be like a approval trap is usually a good one. But we get some creative ones too. We call it validation dive number 2. Just be funny, be creative. Naming it helps you recognize it when it's influencing your actions. And then when we start looking at the name of it, how it's influencing your action, you start to laugh and saying, wow, I really am triggered. What I personally love that has gained me so much freedom is I've learned that breaking free from the approval trap requires 2 key shifts. I don't rush the process. So instead of assuming I already know my belief, because each little one is different, right? Family, friends, job project, works, fitness, things. So I take my time and reflect deeply on how it shows up in my life. This isn't about quick fixes, it's about long term, real self awareness. Now, number two is for the key shifts is I avoid blaming others. It's so easy to point the finger at your boss, your coworkers, your other CEOs you're working in and you're invested in these projects and these companies. So blaming others for not having them giving you the recognition. But ultimately, this is about your mindset. Somehow, some way, we created these beliefs, and that means we have the power to reshift out of them. One thing I really love about the awareness day number one is awareness is power. It really what it comes down to. Once you see the faulty springboard for what it is, a false belief, you start to laugh and you start to create and you say, wow, I really can redo this and rework this. Imagine what your life would look like if you no longer sought approval from others to feel worthy. If you trusted yourself completely and stop relying on external validations to define your value. This is what I help my clients achieve at the Cliff Diver's Edge. By breaking free from limiting beliefs like approval seeking, they gain clarity on their purpose and their ikigai, overcoming fear to take bold action and build habits that support long-term success. If this resonates with you, if you're tired of feeling stuck or held back by irrational rules, it's time to take action. Identify where approval seeking shows up most often in your life. Write it down tonight, making sure we reflect on today, last week. Create a different name for it, right? Use funny names to label these and challenge it every time it appears this week, asking yourself, is this really true? How can I flip this over? Replace this with empowering thoughts like, my worth comes from within. I always make strong, intelligent decisions on my own with no one's approval. And stay tuned for day 2 and 3, and be sure to get your 3 core irrational beliefs blueprint down below. Remember, every leap starts with one step on the springboard. At the Cliff Diver's Edge, we're here to help you take action at every step towards a life of clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum so you are radiant in your passion and purpose. We'll see you in day 2.